Hey, what's up, everybody? It's BDL44 sitting here eating breakfast and just got through watching the highlights of Game 3 of the Lakers versus Heat. Um, and I didn't get a chance to see the game. I unfortunately found out the outcome before I got home and just decided not to watch it because I don't want to watch losses for no reason when I have a new schedule. So it's most important for me to kind of get rest. And right now, I don't have time to watch the full game. So I'm just not going to, but I did see the 10-minute highlight reel that they put together, and I listened to a lot of the analysts and things of that nature. And I'll give you what I can based on what I saw and heard. Jimmy Butler deserves all the credit first and foremost. He 40-point triple double, best performance in NBA Finals history statistically, and really just a testament to the type of player that he is. Willful, underrated in terms of what he can produce for you on the stats. Completely underrated. He showed me that he was capable of this when he played with the Bulls. I've always understood him to be of superstar caliber. He just hadn't quite had the resume that a lot of the superstars have had. But I think Jimmy Butler was looking for a home, and he's found one. And this Miami Heat team is not going to get any worse going forward. So that's the first thing I want to say is just give credit to Jimmy Butler for willing his team a championship win. Not a championship, but a win in the championship series. And I can't do nothing but respect how he approached the game in the pregame show. I was able to watch some of that in his interview when I believe he was talking to either Rachel Nichols or one of the other people who do interviews, and he was just essentially saying he's ready. He feels pretty good, get a win tonight, and he was bouncy and all of that. And he's not 100%. You've seen the ankle, and he's just ignoring it, and he's just willing his team. And I think he's just solidified who he is as a basketball player even further. Maybe even put himself into a Hall of Fame discussion after last night's performance, to be completely honest. It was like Allen Iverson stepping over Ty Lue against us in '01. I mean, it's a testament to the type of will that sometimes players have to succeed under adverse circumstances. And I don't think you're going to find too many more adverse circumstances in this league than the ones that Jimmy Butler is faced against right now. It almost reminded me of LeBron James. I believe it was in 2016 when it was just him and Dellavedova, when everybody else on the Cleveland Cavaliers was hurt and they were going up against the juggernaut that was the Golden State Warriors pre-KD. To me, what we saw here, maybe that was 15, I'm not certain, but what we saw here was similar to that type of willpower. Just even though you're undermanned, even though you don't have all your horses, even though you're not undersized, you're not in a position to have the size, you're undersized, you still put yourself in a position to win basketball games somehow. Now it's time to segue into what actually happened as well. The Lakers gifted them a game. Jimmy needed to do that to be in position to catch the blessing, basically. The Lakers were giving the Heat a game, more or less. And Jimmy Butler, with the 40-point triple-double, was essentially putting his arms out ready to catch it. Because if he doesn't do that, they still lose the game. The Lakers had a 2-point lead with 8 minutes to go. Now, did he have some help from his other guys? For sure. Tyler Hero hit some shots and played well. Kendrick Nunn hit some shots and played well. Kelly Olynyk being able to stretch the floor and space better than Bam can has helped some, believe it or not. And they rebounded the ball as a team better. They still didn't win on the boards, and no one's expecting them to, but more effort on the boards and putting themselves in a position to be on the boards more really did contribute to their success. Anthony Davis got in foul trouble early and was turning the ball over early. We had 10 turnovers in the first quarter. 6 turnovers in the first 6 minutes. You're not going to win a basketball game that way. You're just not. Even if you're able to catch the lead with 8 minutes to go in the fourth quarter, chances are you've been playing so poorly that poor play continues throughout the game. You watch enough basketball, some stuff is just understood. It's hard to win a game that way. I like what I saw out of Kyle Kuzma. low key. Now, obviously, I saw highlights, so that means I didn't get a chance to see defensive sequences. I didn't get a chance to see a whole lot of misses, things of that nature. So I don't know how he played as a whole, but I was encouraged by the fact that I saw him hit some shots. And that's all I really want to see him do at this point. Get his confidence back, see the ball fall a little bit, because ultimately he's a scorer. And if he's not scoring, it's very difficult for him to contribute. But he's getting a little better at that, and I'd like to see him get better at that. So he's had a tough playoffs, but through 3 games, I think you could say he's having an okay series. He played pretty solid in game 2, not really good, but solid. And I think he's played better in game 3, and we'll see what happens from here. I think the Los Angeles Lakers now are in a position where they've been jolted a little bit. They understand that even though they're overmatched, they are out. Yeah, they're overmatched, right? Is that how you say that? Anyway, they're the better team. They have the upper hand in every way, shape, and form, but they still got beat. I don't think they get beat again in this series. I don't think the Lakers lose another game in this series. I didn't think they'd lose this game, so I'm not going to say I couldn't be wrong here, but I just don't think lightning strikes in the same space twice. And I think that that's exactly what happened. They had lightning strike. Not only did the Lakers play poorly, Anthony Davis had 15 points. They got nothing from the others, basically, until KCP didn't have a very good game. Danny Green played poorly and fewer minutes. I don't think he's fully healthy. That hip that he was having issues with in the previous game, I would imagine, is still not quite where it needs to be. And, I don't know that the Lakers were really prepared for the type of intensity that they received from the Heat last night, and that's unacceptable. LeBron James, from what I understand, didn't really have the greatest game. He walked off the court with 10 seconds to go. I didn't care about that. That didn't offend me at all. I don't care about that kind of stuff. It's the finals. He knows what people are going to say, and I would imagine that doesn't feel too good, coupled with the fact that he has to spend more time in this bubble away from his family because we gave up a game, coupled with the fact that we lost a finals game, and his record is as it is in the finals. Losses are traumatizing, I'd imagine. So I don't underestimate the trauma that LeBron James has probably had to endure just from the intense scrutiny and pressure that he's had to face and live up to, and having it never be enough, feeling like you're constantly fighting an uphill battle with the GOAT conversation. No matter how great you are, it's never enough. If he walks off the court with 10 seconds to go, I'm thinking he's got a lot more going on than maybe the average guy who walks off the court with 10 seconds to go. I'm going to give Bron a pass, period. And that's the end of that. AD, I would love to be able to tell you exactly what I saw, but really what I saw was just a guy in foul trouble and a guy who got off to a terrible start. And that's really all I could say. Didn't watch the game. So, Markieff Morris hit some shots I saw. So, and Rajon Rondo did some things that worked for us. But ultimately, I don't think the Lakers are really going to play well if they can't get enough out of AD, Danny Green, KCP. Those guys are very important to what we do, obviously. And if all 3 of them are not playing well, and LeBron James not having an amazing game, then we're probably going to have issues competing. And that's just what I've seen lately. Some would say, KCP and Danny Green are known for running hot and cold and things of that nature. Not really in these playoffs, particularly with KCP. As long as he's been playing well, we've been winning, basically. And he's been playing well all playoffs. So I just want to see us get back to winning ways. I want to see us refocus on our intensity. I want to see us respect the Miami Heat like we respected the Denver Nuggets, and stop allowing ourselves to play to the level of our opponent. I seen a little bit of that in game 2, and I'd imagine it was a lot of that last night. When you have that type of size advantage, that type of talent advantage, there's really no excuse for you allowing some of the stuff to happen that happened yesterday. Now, Jimmy went off. Jimmy had, like I said, the greatest finals performance probably ever. And, deserved the win. Put himself in a position to receive the win, but it was gifted to him. And the Lakers, this is why I said what I said in the last video. I know my team, dude. That's why I wasn't going to pick them to sweep no matter how much of an advantage we have over this Heat team, because the Lakers have shown me all season long that they just take games off. They just do. And it doesn't seem to me like it's a conscious thing. It's just part of their DNA. Sometimes they're just not going to play very well. Sometimes they're just not going to show up. But it's not going to happen too often. And they're going to win more than they don't, and they're going to win the championship. That's what this team is. And I think we're going to have to find a way to overcome that, because if we were facing against legitimate NBA legendary championship caliber teams in this final series, we probably wouldn't win the series. If we were going against the 08 Celtics, I don't think we win the series. Not the way we're playing. If we go up against one of those great Popovich Spurs teams with Tim Duncan on it, Ginobili and Parker, I don't think we win this series. If we go up against, say, Shaq and Kobe, any of those 01, 02, 03 teams, this team they're not beating none of those legendary teams, and that's the problem that I have with this squad. I still think we need to get better in some areas, and of course, this is year 1 for AD, year 17 for Bron, so I understand there's some things that probably need to be considered in regards to comparing them to any of these other teams, but it's not really about that. It's just about guys not being as consistent as they need to and having that killer instinct. Anthony Davis and LeBron James, as amazing of players as they are, neither one of them, to me, appear to be lethal. They're nice guys. They're friendly guys. They are guys that are okay going to sleep at night if they played their best and still lost. Like they remind me of those type of stars. Like if everybody played well, they could take good things from this game and they'll go forward. They're not going to sit up seething, pissed off, not sleeping at night because they lost. Type of guys. I don't believe they are. I could be wrong, and I'm happy to be wrong in this case, but I just feel like they're not killers like that. They're not Dame, they're not Kobe, they're not Michael, they're not, some of these guys that have just had killer instinct, Iverson, Jamal. Like they're not that. And if they were that, this series would end tomorrow. Kobe ain't letting Jimmy be the only one going off like that. Are you kidding me? Jimmy Butler going for 40 and a triple-double? You think Kobe ain't going for 50? That's the type of competitive killer instinct that is lacking from this squad, and we need somebody who has it. They don't have to be the best player on the team, but we need somebody who has that. Who says, oh, nah, I take this personally. I don't care what Jimmy doing over there. He gonna have to deal with me on the other end of the court. We're not gonna be sitting up here watching him go off. He's not gonna go off without me going off. We need somebody like that. We need to find that person. We need to put him in this mix of this group of players and continue to win championships, because I think that's exactly what is missing. And if the Golden State Warriors come back with a strong team, Steph Curry and Klay Thompson, KD and Kyrie, if they stay healthy throughout the season, we're gonna have trouble if those teams are constructed properly. If they put those teams together properly, the Lakers are gonna have trouble with them, because we don't have the killers necessary to defeat some of these teams low key. We are very, very fortunate to be in this series in this year, because there are many NBA champions that I don't think we're better than. Many. And that bothers me a lot, It bothers me a lot. I love that we're here, and I love that it looks like we're going to win it, but we don't play championship ball all the time. And that's exactly what I think happened last night. We just didn't play championship ball. We have championship team, but we're not playing championship ball all the time. So, I lay into my team. I'll let you know when I don't feel something. I'll let you know why I picked them to win in 5 instead of sweeping a team when you know damn well they should sweep this team. Because LeBron James and Anthony Davis are not killers. They are legends. They are Hall of Famers. They are talented beyond measure. They are better than most. They can beat most. But they're not killers. And that's why we lost last night. Jimmy's a killer. Tyler Hero, low-key, young killer. They're not playing. They're not. And if they had enough talent to match up with us, they could beat us. You put Karl Anthony Towns, maybe not Karl Anthony because he's kind of, but I'm saying a talented, super talented center. You put that dude on their roster right now, and suddenly you got yourself a series for real. Somebody who can actually match up with AD, a crazy, super talented center, which any team could win with, by the way. But I'm saying they're missing something right now, and that's why they're not in the position to really compete with us. It's not because they don't have the heart. That's basically what I'm saying about the Heat. And I think everybody agrees with that. So I'm disappointed in my team, but I'm not as disappointed in my team as I am just in understanding who they are. And we got to get better. This championship does not solidify us being the type of basketball team that I think we need to become. Because this field, in this bubble series, has allowed us an opportunity for an easy path. And though I appreciate the break, and it'll never take it away from us, there's still more basketball to be played next season. And if we don't get better, and other teams do, I'm afraid we could find ourselves in situations where we're dealing with much more difficult circumstances than we did right now in these playoffs. And that stuff matters. You know? Finishing off this season is very important. You don't know what the landscape of the league is going to look like next year anyway, so it may not matter. Don't get it twisted. This conversation literally may not matter. But I still am a perfectionist as it pertains to wanting to see good basketball from championship caliber teams. I grew up on great basketball, and I want to see that when I'm watching a championship series. And tonight, the Lakers did not provide that for the Lakers fans. Period. So, back to the drawing board. Understand that Jimmy's not going to go away. Understand that Tyler's shot is going to continue to fall. Understand that they're going to continue to adapt to having lesser talent around them. And you're giving a very, very talented coaching staff more looks at scheming against you. Eric Spoelstra is a guy who can really, really make fantastic adjustments. And the more he gets to look at you, the more film he has on you, the more schemes he can devise to put his team in a position to succeed against you. You are giving him more he can work with. This is a dangerous situation when you're talking about the type of team that they can, the type of schematics that they can devise against you. You know, and that is bottom line. But even with all of that being said, I still think that for them to win 4 games in this series, they would need things to happen that will not and cannot happen. That's what I think that's the bottom line. They need some things to happen that cannot and will not happen in order for us to lose this series. But yesterday, something like that did happen. Period. So, because it shouldn't have happened once, I won't rule out that it will happen 4 times. What I will say is the Lakers better get that crap together right now. Right now. My name is BDF44. Thanks for watching.